name is Patrick McNair, and I'm your host of This Is Real, This is Raleigh. So welcome back to This Is Real, This is Raleigh. I'm your host, Patrick McNair, and today I'm joined by attorney at law, Andrew Covington. Welcome.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being here. Drew.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Drew, you may have not seen a lot of episodes from the podcast. You may have, but my format's a little bit different. So I don't preview a lot of questions with my guests. I just kind of hit them where it's at, see where they are, get the information, and we out the door.
So let it flow.
Let it flow. Let it run. Let it run. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking the time.
I'm happy to be here.
Hey, that's good. That's good. So welcome to This Is Real. This is Raleigh in the Raleigh Podcast Studio. This is where we're filming. And today we're here to talk about you and Raleigh and how those paths intersect. So how long have you been in Raleigh?
So I'm born and raised in Raleigh.
All right.
I've been here the bulk of my life. I have lived some other places, but most of my time has been in Raleigh.
All right. So some of those other places, let's talk about some of those.
Okay, yeah. So I recently just moved back from Miami.
Okay.
Last year, well, actually, I just got rid of my apartment January of this year.
Oh, wow.
But last year I moved back to Raleigh. I was back and forth, but I was really building in Raleigh again, 2023. So
okay. All right. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I love Miami though. I love Florida. I love Florida. Period.
Who doesn't like Miami? M.I.
Right.
Yeah, right. I get it. Hey, so what brought you back?
So I really came back to build my practice and be closer to family. But primarily, man, I wanna build a law firm here that's based on some of the traditional areas of law that I was not already practicing, but I still have a passion for. So criminal defense was something that led me to law school, or criminal justice when I was an undergrad. Personal injury is something that one of my mentors introduced to me that I also like practicing, and it's also another core area of law.
Mm-hmm.
Most law firms and most of the billboards you see in advertisements of personal
come
injury.
Give me your money. I'll
Right.
take 30%, 33%. I got you.
I'm gonna get you more though, so more than they were gonna give you. So don't worry about my fee.
Yeah.
But and then real estate, everyone wants to be in the real estate.
Everybody.
And I know a million realtors now.
Yeah.
So real estate made sense from a networking and just, I want to learn the real estate game. One day I do want to have a real estate portfolio. So this is kind of me incorporating into my profession so that I can, rub shoulders with people in that. And then the other thing is I just wanted to make an impact on the community here. My father he's a retired pediatrician, and he was very influential in the community in Raleigh. A lot of people looked at him as a mentor. Some people, he was even like a father figure when it comes down to, single mothers raising their sons. They would come and talk to my dad. So he's super influential here. And when he retired, I really, really, really got to see the impact that he had on the community. And it really dawned on me that I want to have that same impact on my community. And although I did not follow his footsteps of being a doctor, I was like, how can I do this with my profession?
Okay. That's tight. That's cool. Especially, we look up to our dads. We look up to our parents a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But when it's another level when you see the general public, admire and look up to him. It's like, yo, that's my pops.
Yeah,
It
it was kind of amazing to me because I'm like, well, okay, that's my dad. But I'm like, wow, the way I heard people talking about him,
mm-hmm.
it's like, man,
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. So just getting back in the saddle. And so as you scope out the landscape, all right, there must have been something attractive that attracted you back to Raleigh, that, you have that entrepreneurial background, you have that legal profession background. Why did you decide that you could be successful here in Raleigh?
Well, so like I said, I'm from Raleigh. I know a lot of people here. I've got a very big network here, which was kind of driven from me being involved in entertainment and nightlife.
Mm-hmm.
And I really just was like, how can I leverage those connections that I already have there's nothing wrong with moving somewhere else and building those connections also, because I'm pretty connected in Florida too.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that have been there and, you know, they've made their stamp on the community, they're there and they're set up and they're already rolling. And so I had to think about my community, and, you know, I'm like, there's certain things in Raleigh that you know, that Raleigh's missing that these other big states already have, and that
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced and I've observed, and I haven't noticed anyone in Raleigh doing it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should go back to Raleigh and put some of these things together and, you know, put my network to work.
Do you think that's a byproduct of people just being lazy or lack of exposure? You know, when I grew up, small black neighborhood, you know, historical neighborhood, a lot of the people that we grew up with in that neighborhood never made it out, right? Never made it past Raleigh, Cary, Wake Forest, wherever. A lot of them died there, right?
Mhm.
And so when I made it out, I went to the Marines and got to explore the world.
Yeah.
So I got to see other things.
Yeah.
Still want to come back here and do my thing here. But so do you think it's a lack of exposure that limits what is here in Raleigh? Do you think it's the culture? What do you think it might be?
I definitely think it's a lack of exposure. I think it's also a little bit of laziness and comfortability
Mm.
of, you know, the normal. And like you said, like I had a best friend that went to the Navy, and being in the Navy, he was able to travel, see a lot of different places, and it opened up his mind to where, like, he moved back to Charlotte for like 3 months and broke his lease and was back. Like, he's in Dallas, he's lived in Dubai, he's
Yeah.
lived in Mexico, he's lived all these places that I wouldn't know. I'm not gonna move to Mexico just cold turkey. You know, he moved to Bali, but he's from here over this area, and he, you know, being in the Navy, being exposed to different things is what opened him up, and, you know, it showed him you can't just be comfortable, you know, where you at. There's a lot of things going on in this world that you need to
Yeah.
experience and see and open your mind up. So I think it's a little bit of all of that kind of factors into it.
Okay. Now I've seen your Instagram page, right?
Mhm.
And it looks like you got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
So you mentioned entertainment law.
Uh-huh.
All right. So is that a passion? Is that, you know, just a hobby? What is that?
Entertainment law is absolutely a passion, and it stems from me being I've always been in the entertainment industry. I've DJ'd. I was a musician, like in bands. I've rapped. I've
Okay.
produced. You know, so I'm an actor. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like
All right.
I've done so many things in the entertainment business. For me, being able to help creators protect themselves and actually make a living off of their passion is kind of what led me to entertainment law.
So is that what entertainment law is? Being able to protect the creator?
Essentially, yeah, man.
Okay.
It's protecting the creator, getting them paid, negotiating on their behalf, and, you know, just making sure that paperwork is right.
But the creator doesn't have any money. You know, they're trying to make it, you know, starving artists.
And, you know, that's something that a lot of people don't understand. So like, we work sometimes off of percentages.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let's say you got a record label that's interested in you, and you need to have your contract reviewed and negotiated. If it is an actual, you know, like a record label that's going to give you some money, I can get paid off of when the label pays you, instead of me just telling you, hey, to even talk to me, you're going to need this type of money.
Right.
So we would sign, you know, a retainer agreement where I would be allotted a percentage of your deal. And it's not a high, you know, it's nothing crazy. 5 to 10% is usually average, you know, more so on the 5% side.
Okay.
So, you know, a lot of people think you gotta have a bunch of money to have an entertainment lawyer, when in actuality, when your career gets to that level, it can be leveraged in that way. Now, there are some services that we do require money up front for, or if there is a contract that there isn't guaranteed money in it, of course our time has to be paid for. But honestly, like, you just gotta inquire and see what it costs, and don't be intimidated in thinking that it's gonna break your pockets, because what will break your pockets is if you enter into a contract that isn't in your favor, and you're not making any money, and you working very hard for whoever it is you in that contract with, and you just not making money. So you don't want to be in predicament.
What's an example of if you're talking about an artist, right? A music artist. What's an example of a garbage contract?
Well, everybody's different for sure. So something that may work for someone may not work for someone else, but it really depends on the advance money that they're giving up front, or if they're giving you a signing bonus, which is pretty rare. But I have done a deal before where someone got a signing bonus, because signing bonuses you don't pay back. In advance, of course, the label or whoever is going to want to recoup that. But you want to make sure that whatever money you're advanced is enough money for you to live off, to where you can focus on being an artist. So that's different for a lot of people. And then being in the rap game, you see the lifestyle that's portrayed. So trying to keep up with that is difficult sometimes. You know, you can't spend all your money on clothes and jewelry and cars and
The houses,
you know,
the trips.
you know, so that's tough. But a bad deal, I mean, it would be something where you don't own any publishing. You know, you're not getting any money up front. You don't own your own likeness. Like, I'm big on that. Like, we're not giving up your name and likeness. We're not doing that, because then if this situation doesn't work out, you can't even use your name no more that you're using.
Wow.
So, you know, those are some of the things that you want to watch out for.
Okay. All right. So, you know, I have a son. He's 17, about to be 18, and he loves music. He likes to do his own music. I haven't heard any of it to this day, but that's all right. You know, he's up there jamming away. And, you know, from what I heard from other people, he's pretty good. I can imagine there's a swath of people 16, 17 years old, 18 years old, anywhere in this country that want to be an artist. They want to be on stage. They want to perform. They want that lifestyle. So what type of guidance would you give them? What type of advice would you give them, one, to protect themselves, and two, where to go for help?
So to protect yourself, you know, copywriting your music is
Okay.
big. You know, that's how you keep your music from being stolen. Trademarking your name is also big. It's how you keep, you know, you don't want any duplicates out there. Anybody impersonating you, or you know, you stealing your fan base because they got the same name or a similar name. Definitely having a lawyer that has your best interests at mind, that's going to kind of oversee all of these things for you and advise you on what are good situations for you, and, you know, what maybe not a good situation for you. You know, if they're young, the parents have to be involved. So, you know, if the parents even, you know, if they,
Hey, I ain't heard nothing, so I
yeah,
don't know, you know.
but see, like, you haven't heard his music, but I know you care about your son's well-being.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was more so on that end of having parents that just, you know, actually care, want their children to be successful in a good situation. But just, you know, having the right foundation around you is going to really be the protection, so that you just can't be, you know, fooled into doing something that.
Oh, he got scammed. He got scammed a couple months ago.
Yeah, it happens, man. It happens.
Hey, I told him that's $300. Use a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
A lesson that you have to learn.
You gotta ask questions, man. Like, I have a lot of people that call me and they're like, "Oh, I got this record label that wants to sign me. I just gotta send them $1,000, and they're gonna do." If you gotta pay, it's not real. It's not real. No major label's gonna ask you to pay them for them to sign you. It's the other way around. We trying to get you paid. So yeah, man, a lot of those things are scams. There's a lot of scams out there.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it be elderly or young or just everyday people.
Right.
Somebody's trying to take your money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it in your pocket.
Keep it. Figure out something good to do with it. Put it on marketing, put it on buying beats, put it on paying a lawyer.
Hey, so where do these kids, where these young, and it can't even be a kid anymore. I mean, there could be 20-somethings that's trying to break into the music. Where do they go for guidance, right? To protect themselves, or just to be able to know what to do.
So, you know, especially because we're talking about younger kids or people that may not just have a bunch of money. Man, to be real with you, there's definitely books out there. You know,
Who
there's
reads? Who reads anymore?
Yeah,
you know?
it's
Crazy,
Man,
crazy.
look, I read so much in law school. I just got back into really, really reading books because I just want to be knowledgeable, so knowledgeable. But law school burnt me out.
Yeah.
But kids, like, I mean, if you're really passionate about something, the information's out there. It's just about if you really, really, if you care that much about it. Because a lot of these things, like being an artist, being a rapper, it looks super cool. But sometimes they don't understand the work that has to be put in to do that. So even without reading, listening to podcasts or watching YouTube, and I'm not saying that everybody on those different platforms are credible, but it's a start. You know what I'm saying? Or go look up people that are credible because there are people out there that they're speaking on things, and you can look them up and see who they are. They're this mogul or that mogul or record exec or whatever. It's about really doing the research and figuring out who those people are, and then going to find resources that they've put out. Now that's a way that doesn't cost you money, but it does cost you time, and you actually taking the initiative to do it.
There's one thing I saw online a couple of weeks ago, because you talked about work, putting in the work. When a tree grows, just like you see those branches coming up, it has to have the roots going down.
Right.
So the same way it's growing up is growing down. And that's that work that you're talking about, being able to dig through the dirt and the grit, but you don't see it, but you see the benefit from it because of all the leaves and all that stuff, all the branches.
Right. You see the beautiful tree at
right.
the end.
Yeah. But you don't see all the ugly roots up under the ground. But that's what's holding it together. That's what's making it alive.
Right.
And, just like if it was Jordan or Kobe or LeBron, all the work that they put in behind the scenes, not on Sundays when they're playing.
Right.
It's all the stuff behind the scenes that makes them the greatness, right?
Right. It's that foundation.
Yeah. So same thing. Yeah. So, hey, getting back to Raleigh and that void that exists here, would you say that, there's a void for creatives here in this area?
Absolutely. And that was one of the, outside of the nightlife and things like that I'm also involved with, that was one of the other voids that I pretty much noticed, because I'm like, hey, you got people like well, I don't know if he's somebody I should talk about, but like Diddy and Jay-Z and those type of people, you can't take away what they've done, career wise, but they're looked at as moguls. And that was another reason why I came back to Raleigh, because I'm like, I want to be an entertainment creative type of mogul. So in Raleigh, I've noticed, I put out a film on Tubi 2 years ago. And I'm not going to say nobody was doing films, but what made me do that was I was like, the people I know aren't doing films, but everybody's doing music. Now, the film industry is going crazy. And I'm not saying like I kicked it off or anything like that, but now there's so many more people producing and making films. And that was something that I noticed at the time that wasn't going on. But I picked that up from people that I knew in DC and Atlanta and all these other states. And they're doing 20 films a year or whatever, 10, 20 films a year. And I'm like, I want to do a movie, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But there's a lot of different things, like even down the podcast. Like, I can name some big podcasts that are out of Atlanta or LA or New York. But, why can't we have a big podcast that's out of North Carolina?
Right.
Because it don't really matter where you at with a podcast. You don't know. We could say we in New York City right now. Yeah, you would not know.
Live from New York City. This is real. This is Raleigh. Right.
So, and then even like, I stepped into, the artist world, not music, but like visual, because I know some guys that paint and, they create and they're super talented, but nobody knows about them because they're in Raleigh. So, I'm trying to connect dots with other artists or art brokers and things like that to get some of their pieces in some of these, expos and art shows in different places. Because being in Miami, Art Basel is my favorite event in Miami out of everything that goes on there. I love Art Basel. And I love art. So that was another thing. I'm like, we don't have a big art scene. So now I know a guy that downtown, he has like he has an art gallery. And he also sells clothes out of there. So like, I don't know any black-owned art galleries around here, and it could be just me that I don't know, but I just don't know any.
Right.
So there's a lot of things going on other places that aren't going on here in the creative space that I feel like we have the talent. We definitely got the talent. So it's just about shedding light on it.
Right. And people come here.
They do.
People come to North Carolina, to Raleigh in droves.
Right.
Right. And so why can't there be something here for them when they get here? Because that's what they're used to when they come from New York or Chicago or Miami or whatever. And they should be able to come here and be like, oh, it's almost like home.
Right.
Or something similar.
Right.
So great. So when it comes to what's next for you, like you're just getting here, getting your roots going, getting started, but immediately what's next for you?
So what's next for me is at the law firm, because that's my primary, that's the bread and butter. I have to get a solidified team and staff, a family there, so that can run itself without me being so hands-on. But I've noticed that I cannot get away from my burning passion of the whole entertainment and business. And it kind of slowed down a little bit post-COVID or during COVID. Well, COVID was actually booming. Post-COVID a little bit. 2022, entertainment slowed down a little bit for me. And then now it's picking back up. And I feel like it's for a reason. So next steps for me, man, I have a lot of different things going on in the entertainment world. I've got some fashion designers that I'm working with that I'm really trying to put together some big brand deals and help expand their fashion brands. I've got some spirit brands like liquor companies that I work with that I'm also trying to do the same thing. Like I was saying, some visual artists that I'm trying to work with, as well with some musicians and some film producers too that I'm working with. So for me, man, I really want to just connect the dots and be that guy out of NC when it comes to entertainment that you need to know or be in contact with, even if it isn't from a space where you're trying to hire me as your lawyer right now. I still want to be able to connect dots for people and at least help them advance their career to the next step.
You working with any professional gamers?
And you know what? That is huge right now. It's certain rappers that have stopped rapping. They making more money off of streaming and with Twitch or whatever it is. T Grizzly,
T-Pain, T-Pain.
Oh, T-Pain too. Yeah. It's like, you know what? I'm glad you said that because I need to get familiar with that.
I got some students over at Wake Tech that would love to talk to you.
I definitely gotta get familiar with that.
Probably what you didn't know about me is I'm the esports director over at Wake Tech.
Okay.
So I have some teams over there. We just won our second national championship in the League of Legends just a few weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to Wake Tech.
Now. Yeah. Shout out to Wake Tech. So I went to Wake Tech too when I was in early college.
Okay.
So we were based on Wake Tech's campus.
Yeah. So I was curious because you're talking about entertainment and contracts and performing and all this stuff, exclusivity, whether it be YouTube or whatever. And I'm just like, I wonder if he's working with any gamers.
I definitely need to get on that ASAP because I know whoever is practicing that area of law with those gamers that are already out there, I know they're winning, and I'm sure that there's very few lawyers that are doing it.
Yeah, and the thing about this area, there are some big professional gamers in this area already. Right. There's a couple over, and there's one in Wake Forest that I met before, played golf with him. He's doing his thing. Another one in Zebulon, some out in Durham. So they're here.
Wow.
Right. And they're when you see them.
Yeah.
But then you have all the entertainment or the game companies here, the Epics and all this stuff. And so it's here.
See, I've done license deals with like 2K games for them to license songs and things like that. So it's all full circle. That's what I love about the entertainment industry. Yeah, everything that I'm doing, it can I need to know everybody everywhere.
Hey, now we know.
Yeah, for sure. You gave me some homework. I'm definitely gonna go. I'm about to get on it.
Hey. And so during COVID, and more recently with the strike in Hollywood, right?
Oh yeah.
A lot of the things that came up from that. The Writers Guild or the Actors Guild was AI and the use of AI for their likeness, where you just got done talking about their likeness. Talk about that a little bit for me and just help shed some light to the audience. Why is it important that actors or artists be protected from this new craze called AI, whether it be Chat GPT or the Gammas or any other AI platform out there? Why is it so important for those artists to be protected from that type of thing?
Yeah, so AI is super interesting. It's evolving daily. It's not going anywhere. So you have to learn how to use it
Mm-hmm.
instead of running from it or hoping that it doesn't develop, because it is.
It is.
So interesting area of law for sure. I'm still kind of doing some research and really getting tapped into it. I actually had a mentor tell me, he's a mentor just from the music business, but he kind of jumped into the whole AI stuff and metaverse and all of that kind of stuff heavy. And he was like, "This is what you need to be doing. This is what you need to be doing." But, and I, I'm interested in it, but it's like, I really need to just really look into it and do some more research. But it's really important to protect yourself, because I'm sure everyone's seen, like, especially like with this Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef going on. I think Drake had like Tupac's voice on a song or something, which it seemed like now Drake just do what he wanted to anyways. But you can't do that, because Tupac has a distinctive voice. That's his likeness. We all know Tupac's voice, what he looks like, what his name is, all of those things that identify with him. So, even with the songs that they've made where they use somebody's voice and create a whole song, I'm interested to see how it's going to
It's crazy
unfold, because they could literally drop a Biggie Smalls album right now if they wanted to with AI, because they can turn his voice into that. And I think it's going to come down to the people that own these estates for these artists, if they're going to be okay with a company doing that, or I feel like it's coming. I feel like, I don't know, to me yet, I haven't decided, like, is that going to be weird or not, but I feel like, just because that's the era that we're living in. I had a guy approach me. They're developing a software where, like, for loved ones to be able to, the AI, while they're living, the AI kind of like studies them, and then once they are deceased, you can kind of talk to the AI like you talking to your loved one.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know how I feel about it yet. Like, I mean, it's you think about it, it's somebody's going to do it. So it's genius idea, but it's like, wow,
but at any time, that it goes back to, people want to be entertained, people want to be comforted, and so it's a service when you look at it.
It's a service.
I mean, because they'll pay to be comforted.
Some people save voicemails and things like that from people and listen to them from time to time. So it's sort of the same thing,
Yeah,
but
you just make it a little bit more interactive.
Yeah,
a little more freaky.
But right. But definitely, like, you got to protect yourself, because if not, you are open for AI or something like that to be able to use whatever that you were putting out there into the universe unprotected. Because if you publish it, if it goes out there and you don't have no protection over it, somebody can take it. So
all you aspiring actors and musicians and artists, protect yourself
for sure.
All right, so you talked about what's around the corner, why you're here, the voids here in the city. What are you hoping, right? So, what are you hoping comes around the corner for Raleigh in the next, 18 months or so?
Well, Raleigh's growing like crazy. So
on fire.
Yeah, it's growing like crazy. I would love for our culture to just, just the culture to just kind of, I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know if it's just kind of adopt some of some of the other, cultures from different areas that I've been in. When it comes to food and the different type of people that are here, the different type of events that we host, like Dreamville. Dreamville opened Raleigh's eyes up. Yeah, for real. Because I'm sure at first they were like, "Oh no. Yeah, they're like, I don't know. And then now it probably makes the most money. As far as event that comes here, it probably is it definitely brings the most people here.
Yeah.
So, you know, but things like that, I want Raleigh to be more open to. Like, I've always wanted Raleigh to have an amusement park and have professional sports teams. And, you know, we're the capital of North Carolina, but a lot of people think that Charlotte's the capital.
Yeah.
And Charlotte is more of, you know, it's definitely a lot of young, successful people there. And there's a lot of different people from all over, you know, the world or the United States that come there. And, you know, they think Raleigh, I mean, they think Charlotte's the capital.
Yeah.
But, you know, Charlotte has a lot more going on. They got the amusement park. They got the sports teams. They got, you know, we got colleges too. But, you know.
Yeah, but Charlotte is like booming. It's
right.
It's like a big city.
It is.
And Raleigh's not.
It is, exactly. Yeah. So I would love to see Raleigh develop, not to be like Charlotte, but just develop into a bigger city. You know, as far as the things that are going on here, the businesses that are coming here, and the culture.
So fertile ground right now for up and coming entrepreneurs, maybe not so much for artists yet until we get you and your law firm established so where you can, you know, do your workshops and things to get them going.
Yeah, for sure. That's coming for sure.
I got that. So for our audience at home who may be watching and introduced to you for the first time, you know, I'm gonna give you a few moments to say something and share maybe how they can reach you, stay in contact with you, and watch as you grow and spread your roots.
Yeah, so you can contact me. My website is www.thecovingtonlaw.com. The Covington, like THE. Like, for some reason, people always, like they always mess that up. But that's my website. On there, you can like submit an inquiry that goes straight to my case management software. You can also email us at admin, admin, like administration, admin at The Covington Law, again, thecovingtonlaw.com. I'm sorry. So admin at thecovingtonlaw.com. That's the email. I'm on Instagram. My personal page is $1 Million ESQ, like Esquire. ES, because people be like.
So hold on. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna talk about your Instagram page a little bit.
Okay.
So I pull up the Instagram page because I don't know who you are, right? I was like, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of research, but I'm going to look a little bit and see who I'm bringing in, right? Yeah. And all I see is sports cars. I see, you know, the flashy. I see, you know, he's getting out of the ride and he's like, and he's going, right? So I'm like, yo, this dude don't need to be on my podcast. He got all this stuff. He's got videos. He's got all this stuff. I'm like, yo, who is this dude, right?
Man, so my Instagram, what I've noticed is that, like, I've tried to do the super traditional Instagram, and, you know, me being myself is what really attracts my business and my clientele, like just me being myself. Like, it was one point in time, I was thinking about cutting my hair, and, you know, my mentor was like, no, keep your hair. That's who you are. Now, even in court, like, you know, sometimes I take my earrings out. Sometimes I don't, because I know one lawyer, he come in earrings, sunglasses on. He, you know, he a fly dude when I see him, man. You know, so, but being myself is kind of what attracts people to me, because they can relate to it, or, you know, it's something they want to see or aspire to be like. So things that I like, I do post on Instagram, and I don't do it, you know, it probably, some things come off flashy, but it's sincerely things that I love doing. I love cars. I love boats. I love bikes. I love music. It's
all up there.
I do love partying. You know what I'm saying? I love to celebrate. So, you know, I like to show those things to my audience, just, you know, because they can be relatable, you know. So, and it does, like I said, it attracts people for sure. So.
And at the end of the day, when you're doing business with somebody, and engaging with a lawyer is a business transaction, but when you're doing business with somebody, it's all about who you know, who you like, and who you trust, right? And so when you can relate to somebody because they've opened the curtain, pulled back the curtain for you, and they've allowed you into their space to see how they authentically are, that allows you to judge for yourself if you really like them or if you really can trust them. And so I applaud you for it.
And we're in an era where, you know, the traditional lawyer, still, doing their thing. But this new millennial or whatever generation that we in, yeah, they want somebody that they can talk to and feel comfortable talking to them. Because I've had people hire me because they're like, I feel like I could talk to you. Other people, I'm like, oh, let me make sure I'm sitting like perfectly straight, and it's like, don't be slouching around me. No, I'm just kidding, but I want people to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, other lawyers, they're a little uncomfortable. Like I just went to the eye doctor the other day, and my eye doctor was a little, he was real, like, just I feel like he wasn't even comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just the energy I was getting. I'm like, I know you know what you're doing, because you the best around with what you do. But he just was like, so it was just a little awkward. You know what I'm saying? I was like, if I was dealing with somebody as my lawyer, I want to be super comfortable, because I want to be able to express exactly how I'm feeling or what I'm looking for, and I don't want to be holding things back or thinking you're going to judge me or whatever, because that's not my job. I'm not a judge.
For sure.
Yeah, man, it's really just the comfortability. I had to get comfortable with myself so that other people can be comfortable around me also.
Hey, that's a life lesson right there.
Yeah.
Whether you're a dentist, whether you're a chiropractor, whether you're a doggone school teacher, you got to be comfortable with yourself.
Got to
be confident.
For sure.
Well, Drew Covington, the attorney, I appreciate you taking the time to share with our audience some of the flavor of the Covington law, and much success for you and for the Raleigh area, because when you are successful, this whole area is going to be successful.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that, man.
So much blessings for you and for you coming on our show. Anytime you want to come back to this studio, to this show, you come back and we'll do some big things.
Definitely, man. I will definitely be back. I need to start doing marketing and things like that myself. So all the creators out there, if you're interested in starting a podcast, this is somebody you need to know. This is a place you need to be familiar with. One-stop shop. You come bring your content, do your thing. Leave the equipment here.
Please do, because it costs money.
Leave all the technical things to the staff here. You come do your thing here, man. I'll definitely be back to shoot some content here,
I appreciate that.
We're in a content era.
Come create content.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So for you all at home, subscribe, like, and share. And until next time, this is Real. This is Raleigh. Peace.